Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
The rules are very clear, but they also hide some other information. Lin Moyu noticed this. One rule states that multiple people can join forces, but the points gained from a victory must be evenly split. If the points are less than 0.5, no points will be awarded. This means that at most, only 2 people can team up. If 3 people team up and defeat someone, none of the 3 will get any points. This is the key point. The rules do not clearly define what constitutes teaming up. For example, if he is fighting someone and is about to win, and someone else intervenes and attacks, even if it's just a light touch, does that count as teaming up? If it does. Xu Jianxing had some peculiar thoughts. There is also the option to surrender voluntarily, which will result in being randomly teleported to another arena. This can prevent oneself from getting injured. If you know you can't win, it's better to surrender and wait for another opportunity. And the last rule, do not stay in one place for too long. Thinking of this, Xu Jianxing immediately started moving. He didn't know what would happen if he stayed in one place for too long, but since the Human Emperor Network mentioned it in the rules, it's best to follow it. Xu Jianxing was currently in a dense forest, with ancient trees towering above and some wild grass taller than a person, and the area was full of thorns. Moving through such a forest was very difficult. Flying was not restricted, so he could fly up to get a better view. In such an environment, having a good view is very important. However, after thinking it over, Xu Jianxing decided not to fly. He continued to move cautiously through the forest. After a while, he finally saw another contestant. Xu Jianxing recognized him. He was contestant number 399 from the Xuanwu Star region. His strength was slightly higher than Xu Jianxing's, and because of his outstanding defense, Xu Jianxing was not confident in defeating him. Xu Jianxing concealed his aura as much as possible to avoid being detected. Contestant 399 flew over his head, but before he could fly far, Allah transformed into a sharp arrow and shot up from the ground. The arrow was incredibly fast and pierced through his body. With a scream, contestant 399 fell from the sky. Sure enough, there is danger. Xu Jianxing's heart tightened. There was indeed danger, and he was glad he hadn't flown. At the same time, his eyes lit up as he stared in the direction where the contestant had fallen. There's an opportunity. He quickly sneaked over, taking out a jade token and sticking it to himself. The jade token concealed his aura and masked his movements. Xu Jianxing soon found him. He was leaning against a tree, healing his wounds. The wound was severe but not fatal. However, it seemed he couldn't move for the time being and had lost his combat ability. Xu Jianxing took out a longbow, drew it, and shot an arrow in one smooth motion. The contestant never expected to be ambushed. By the time he reacted, it was too late. Xu Jianxing's arrow pierced his heart. With a scream, the contestant's body disappeared. Defeated one contestant, gained 1 point. Xu Jianxing received a notification from the Human Emperor Network. He wasn't worried about actually killing the opponent. Since the Human Emperor Network allowed them to do this, it naturally had a way to control it. A minute later, the contestant Xu Jianxing had ambushed reappeared in another arena. The Human Emperor Network had healed his wounds, and most of his injuries were already healed, though not completely. At least he could move, and it would take him at most an hour to fully recover. Damn it, who ambushed me? If I find out, I'll make you pay, he cursed as he began to heal himself. The round-robin tournament had begun, and the attention of the entire human race, across all star regions and star systems, was focused on the competition. Shortly after the competition started, contestants began encountering each other and fighting. Some were ambushed, some were assassinated, and some were defeated head-on. Points began to change, and the rankings also shifted. Everyone started with 100 points, and Xu Jianxing, having gained 1 point, was now in the top 10. However, given his strength, he would eventually drop down. After all, his realm was not high enough, and his strength was somewhat lacking. Zhuang Bai chuckled. Junior brother Lin's guess was quite accurate. It is indeed a combination of multiple formats. Lin Moyu smiled. A guess is just a guess. Ultimately, it depends on junior brother Xu's judgment and adaptability. But it seems junior brother Xu is very smart and has grasped the key points of the rules. Chu Shang scratched his head. These rules seem to have a lot of twists and turns. It's making my head hurt. Junior brother Lin, can you explain it to me? Chu Shang wasn't stupid, he just didn't like to think too much, or you could say he was lazy. Lin Moyu didn't refuse. First, the rule about defeating opponents doesn't mention killing, which means the rules have changed. But this point conflicts with the restrictions in the elimination rounds, so you need to find a balance yourself. God King Realm magical artifacts are definitely not allowed, soul attacks are also prohibited, and you can't intentionally kill someone. But the rules are somewhat relaxed. I think severely injuring an opponent is not a problem, and junior brother Shu has grasped this point. Zhuang Bai chuckled. Indeed, just now junior brother Shu shot an arrow through the opponent's heart. If this were the elimination rounds, it would definitely not be allowed, but it seems to be fine here. Lin Moyu continued. Second, the teleportation gates around the arena can lead to other arenas, giving strong contestants the opportunity to move to other arenas and gain more points, thereby widening the gap between high and low scores. Third, if a contestant feels they can't win, they can surrender and be teleported to another arena. For weaker contestants, this is a form of protection to avoid injury. For stronger contestants, it's a way to spend 1 point to save a lot of time. Chu Shang was stunned. You mean, even if you don't encounter a strong opponent, you can use this method to switch arenas? Lin Moyu nodded. It should be possible. Fourth, no more than 3 people can team up. If 3 people team up, no points will be awarded. If 2 people team up, they each get half the points. The efficiency may not be higher than going solo, but it's definitely safer. But you can have 3 or even 4 people team up, with only 2 people attacking. This way, you get both safety and points. However, this rule also gives opportunities to ambushers. You can intervene when others are almost done fighting. You can still get points without really fighting. Chu Shang was stunned again. Isn't that very despicable? Zhuang Bai answered for Lin Moyu. There's no such thing as despicable on the battlefield. Everything is done for victory, and there's nothing you can't do. The arena is a light simulation of a battlefield. In a real battlefield, there are plenty of ambushers. The last point is to keep moving. If you stay in one place for too long, you'll be attacked by the formation. Also, you can't move around randomly. The arena is not safe, and you might get attacked. I think there are many traps in the arena, and these can actually be used to your advantage. If you can make good use of the rules, even if your strength is lacking, your ranking won't be too bad. Chu Shang felt overwhelmed. Why are there so many twists and turns? It's really giving me a headache. I hope our competition won't be this kind of round-robin tournament. Zhuang Bai glanced at Lin Moyu. If our competition is similar, junior brother Lin's opponents will surely suffer. Lin Moyu is too smart, analyzing and utilizing the rules to the extreme. Being his opponent would be very painful. Lin Moyu shook his head. No, in the face of absolute strength, rules don't matter much. Lin Moyu's words were very domineering. His tone was calm, but it made people have to admit that Lin Moyu indeed had the strength. Even though Zhuang Bai had never seen Lin Moyu go all out, he knew that he was far from being Lin Moyu's match. Even if all restrictions were lifted and he went all out, the result would not change. Not only him, but Dongfang Zi and Qing Fei would also be the same. In fact, Lin Moyu had another thing he didn't say. Although the round-robin tournament wouldn't result in real death, it was more terrifying than actual death. Even if you received a fatal attack, you wouldn't die, but you would experience the same sensations as death. Except for the result, the entire process was the same. During the 30 days of the round-robin tournament, some people might experience many life and death situations. If their willpower wasn't strong enough, they might have a mental breakdown. If they could endure it, their willpower would be greatly strengthened, which would be extremely beneficial for their future cultivation. This was also one of the purposes of the round-robin tournament. It seemed very cruel, but it was also very necessary. The human race not only needed geniuses and powerful warriors but also needed warriors who were fearless of death. The round-robin tournament was still ongoing, and the Human Emperor Network controlled the formation, simulating mountains, rivers, seas, the sun, moon, and stars. There were day and night, secret realms, and star seas. Each arena had its own characteristics. The contestants moved within, and due to the rules, they couldn't stay in one place for long, so there was no rest time. The arena was large, but the Human Emperor Network made it feel small. It was as if an invisible force was constantly controlling the direction of each contestant's movement. They often met quickly and then fought. Few people noticed this. Especially the contestants within, who had no sense of it at all. Only Lin Moyu vaguely felt that there was a force within the formation, invisibly affecting the judgment of their souls, causing the contestants to move closer to each other. Those involved are confused. If they could see this, they might turn from prey to hunter. Unfortunately, without a soul at the beyond the shore level, it's impossible to sense it. Xu Jianxing encountered another opponent, whose number was 452, slightly higher than his but not by much. Their strengths were evenly matched, but Xu Jianxing had seen the opponent's information and knew his characteristics. After a fierce battle, Xu Jianxing emerged victorious. The opponent was severely injured and then teleported away by the formation. Xu Jianxing didn't stay in place but immediately left. He didn't know how many people were in his arena, so he had to remain vigilant at all times. Day and night changed, and Xu Jianxing walked for a day and a night without encountering any enemies. He checked the leaderboard and saw that he was ranked 57th with 102 points. Half a day ago, he was ranked around 30th with the same 102 points, but now he had dropped to 57th. Ahead, he saw flashes of white light and then a teleportation gate. Unknowingly, he had reached the edge of the battlefield. He didn't know what kind of world lay beyond the teleportation gate. But he knew what he had to do. After taking a deep breath, Xu Jianxing walked into the teleportation gate. He heard the sounds of intense fighting, the roar of laws, and the clash of magical artifacts. His vision restored in 0.1 seconds, faster than any previous teleportation. Xu Jianxing saw two people engaged in a fierce battle. He recognized both of them. One was number 288, and the other was number 311, both stronger than him. Xu Jianxing used the jade token given by Lin Moyu to hide his aura and stayed far away. While hiding, Xu Jianxing kept moving, though his movements were small, and his attention was focused on the battle. Contestant 288 gradually gained the upper hand and was about to win. At this moment, Xu Jianxing carefully shot a law arrow. The arrow silently flew through the air and merged with contestant 288's attack, hitting contestant 311. The law arrow was only at the true god realm and had almost no damage. It went unnoticed from start to finish. Until contestant 311 was defeated and teleported away. Xu Jianxing received a notification from the Human Emperor Network. Defeated contestant 311, gained 0.5 points. Xu Jianxing's tense heart suddenly relaxed, and he silently retreated, disappearing without a trace. Behind him, contestant 288 roared in anger, realizing someone had intercepted his points. He checked the leaderboard and saw the change in points, with Xu Jianxing's 0.5 points standing out. Xu Jianxing, I won't let you off. His angry roar echoed across half the arena, but Xu Jianxing had already run far away. Outside the arena, countless spectators saw this scene and couldn't help but laugh. A god sovereign slapped his thigh and laughed heartily. This Xu Jianxing is a talent, using the rules like this. Even I didn't think of it. Of course, he comes from the Shu family in the Divine City. How could he be lacking? The Shu family in the Divine City, no wonder. The Shu family is very strict with their disciples, producing many talents. Truly impressive. These rules are full of traps. Those who can use the rules are smart people and will achieve great things in the future. Xu Jianxing's actions seemed to inspire some people. The 0.5 point change sparked many thoughts. Some thought he had teamed up with someone, but it didn't seem right. Contestant 288 was from the White Tiger Star region and had no connection to Xu Jianxing. Soon, some smart people figured out the reason. More people began to imitate this method, and during battles, they had to watch out for hidden ambushers. In another arena, Qing Xiaoxiao controlled a large net magical artifact, trapping someone tightly. The person was bound like a dumpling, unable to move. Qing Xiaoxiao's net was a true god realm peak magical artifact. Although it couldn't bind someone for long, 2 or 3 minutes were no problem. Qing Xiaoxiao didn't attack but kept moving. The person trapped was a cultivator from the Xuanwu Star region, at the 9th rank of the God King realm, with strong defense. Although Qing Xiaoxiao trapped him, she couldn't harm him. The person shouted, Qing Xiaoxiao, you can't hurt me. Let me go, and I'll pretend I didn't see you. Qing Xiaoxiao shook her head. No, I want to earn your points. Earn what? You can't hurt me. What's the point of dragging this out? The person continued to shout, but Qing Xiaoxiao was determined and kept doing her own thing. 2 minutes later, a law arrow suddenly shot down from the sky, piercing through the net and severely injuring the person. The person screamed as his defense collapsed. Qing Xiaoxiao easily finished him off and won. Retrieving the net, Qing Xiaoxiao laughed, I'm smart, knowing how to use the rules. Too bad Lin Moyu isn't here. Otherwise, I'd make him look bad. One day, I'll tie him up like a dumpling and give him a good beating. As she spoke, she clenched her silver teeth and waved her small fists, looking like she wanted revenge. At this moment, the sound of a sword breaking through the air came from behind Qing Xiaoxiao. Someone was ambushing her, and their combat power was not weak. Qing Xiaoxiao reacted quickly and dodged. The attacker missed and immediately retreated, disappearing without a trace. Qing Xiaoxiao couldn't find the person and was so angry that she screamed. The contestants gradually adapted to the round-robin tournament, and all kinds of fighting methods began to appear. Ambushes, assassinations, taking advantage of opportunities, setting traps, nothing was off-limits. The cultivators from the 4-star regions revealed their extraordinary strength in the round-robin tournament. Compared to the cultivators from the Divine City and the War God Hall, they had richer combat experience and stronger adaptability in the field. They often did not linger in battle. If they could fight, they fought. If they couldn't win, they fled. Even in dangerous situations, they would choose the most advantageous course of action for themselves. In contrast, the cultivators from the War God Hall and the Divine City placed more faith in their own strength and were more willing to fight to the death. While such spirit is admirable, on the battlefield, such behavior is truly seeking death. Unless there is truly no way to retreat and one must fight to the death, one needs to respond flexibly. Everyone knows this is experience. The cultivators from the 4-star regions constantly carry out various missions and often go to battlefields to fight against other races. Many of them walk on the edge of life and death, accumulating a great deal of combat experience. This cannot be obtained through secluded cultivation. Just as Lin Moyu said, the round-robin tournament is not just about strength. Experience and luck are also very important. Unless you have the strength to crush everything, the scales will always tilt. The rankings are constantly changing. As the contestants adapt to the round-robin tournament, the ranking changes become more and more frequent. Lin Moyu noticed another point. The Human Emperor Network seemed to intentionally arrange contestants with close numbers together. Although not all of them, in many cases it was like this. In this way, it could be determined who the true experts were. By the 10th day of the round-robin tournament, the top 10 in the rankings had basically been established. The number 1 ranked contestant was number 19, named Zhang Gang. He came from the White Tiger Star region and had a fierce offensive style, not much weaker than the cultivators from the Azure Dragon Star region. Originally, he had a chance to enter the top 16, but unfortunately, he encountered a small god sovereign from the War God Hall. His score reached 372 points. In just 10 short days, he had defeated 272 people. He seemed to have a special talent that allowed him to quickly find his targets. Every time he entered an arena, he would find his opponent in an extremely short time and quickly defeat them. Then he would go through the teleportation gate to another arena. This talent was not very useful in one-on-one battles, but on the battlefield, it was a great killer. The few ranked below him also displayed extraordinary strength. Xu Jianxing's ranking gradually dropped due to his strength, but thanks to the various magical artifacts given by Lin Moyu and the intentional control of the Human Emperor Network, the opponents he encountered were never much stronger than him. His score was also slowly increasing. 10 days later, his score had reached 121 points, ranking 230th. At this point, more than half of the contestants had scores below 100. Not only did they not gain any points, but they also lost their base 100 points. The lowest ranked contestant had a score of less than 50. In these 10 days, he had been defeated more than 50 times, which was truly miserable. Lin Moyu suddenly realized something, and his eyes flashed with a brilliant light. It turns out the round-robin tournament has another use. It can reveal a person's luck, good or bad. Luck is a part of strength. Sometimes, good or bad luck can decide life and death. Xiao Sheng once had extremely bad luck and almost died, but it seems his luck later improved, and he encountered me, escaping death. Lin Moyu pondered, as if he had gained a deeper understanding of the intangible concept of luck. Time passed day by day. On the 21st day of the competition, the first elimination occurred. It was only then that people realized the round-robin tournament would also have eliminations. The eliminated contestant was the one with the worst luck. His points had been deducted to a negative number. He became the first person to be eliminated. In the following days, more and more people were eliminated. The number of arenas seemed to be decreasing, and the area was also shrinking. The contestants' activity range became smaller and smaller, and the frequency of encounters increased, rapidly intensifying the round-robin tournament. With 5 days remaining, more than 100 contestants had been eliminated, and there were only 4 arenas left. More than 300 people were crammed into 4 arenas, greatly increasing the probability of encounters. Moreover, the rules became even stricter. If someone did not move for more than 1 minute, they would be attacked by the formation. At this time, the role of traps increased significantly. There was no need for powerful traps. As long as they could trap the opponent and prevent them from moving for 1 minute, it was enough. Then, after the opponent was injured, one could easily finish them off and gain points. Properly utilizing the rules was very important. Under these circumstances, Xu Jianxing's days became even more difficult. Not just him, all the weaker contestants gradually became targets. In the end, it still came down to strength. In the last few days, more and more people were eliminated. Soon, the round-robin tournament reached its final day, with only a little over 200 contestants remaining. The arenas shrank again, and everyone was teleported into the same arena. This day would determine the final rankings. Zhang Gang firmly held the first place, and no one could shake his position. Even Qing Xiaoxiao was not his match. After him, the rankings had gone crazy. They fought madly, vying for the last few points. The 30-day round-robin tournament was most exciting on the final day. This day was also the most stressful for the contestants. If one's luck was bad, they might die dozens or even hundreds of times in a single day. Facing death each time was an immense mental torment. Although they knew they would not truly die, the terror of facing a fatal attack remained unchanged. For the higher-ranked contestants, it was now about hiding and not being discovered. For the lower-ranked contestants, it was about finding and quickly defeating others. Xu Jianxing's Jade Token played a huge role. He hid underground, using the Jade Token to conceal himself and avoid being discovered. Finally, the round-robin tournament reached its end amidst intense battles. The formation rumbled, teleporting everyone away, and the rankings were determined at that moment. Zhang Gang remained number 1, firmly holding the top spot with a high score of 1200, unshakable. It was only in the last few days of the round-robin tournament that he reached his peak. Qing Xiaoxiao was second, with a score of 986. The scores of the next few contestants were very close, as everyone fought fiercely on the final day. On the last day, another third of the remaining 200 contestants were eliminated. It can be said that the points ultimately converged towards a small number of people. Xu Jianxing was very lucky. Utilizing the Jade Token's properties, he was only found 3 times, all by Zhang Gang. The Jade Token could not hide from Zhang Gang's talent. In the end, Xu Jianxing successfully passed the round-robin tournament with a score of 102, ranking 132nd. When Xu Jianxing returned, his face was slightly pale, with a lingering look of horror. The feeling of being killed was not pleasant. It wasn't until he drank half a jug of wine that his face regained its rosy color. Chu Shang patted Xu Jianxing with his big hand. Go to a few more battlefields, and you'll get used to it. Xu Jianxing shook his head. That feeling is different. Indeed, it was different. He had been to battlefields before, constantly facing life and death. But truly facing death was a different kind of terror. There is great terror between life and death, not just words. Lin Moyu understood him. In the Tulu realm, he had also narrowly escaped death, and even he had been terrified enough. After this experience, Xu Jianxing would become more indifferent to life and death, and his will would become stronger and more resolute. His future achievements would be even greater.